Hey guys, Idol here, and today we'll be going over an Arknights SSS low-end guide for Automaton Arena. This is a consistent, cheap setup for SSS that should easily let you finish a run while also getting the secret medal for not losing a map. And this is how we'll do it. So for directional EC unit, you just go with the one in the middle, chargeable supervisory speaker. And for tactical equipment configuration, we just go with A on everything except on medic, which is on B. We're not stacking the A equipment, so we just want B as a contingency. And this is the overall team composition. First and foremost, the star of the show, Goldenglow. Goldenglow is basically the carry of the run with her powerful map-wide arts DPS that scales well with the modes of the equipment of the mode. She is basically going to be doing everything with regards to damage, even the boss killing, so we want her to be as strong as possible. You most likely will want to borrow her as a support unit from a friend in order to make sure that she's as strong as possible when you do so. Preferably max level, preferably skill tree mastery tree, and preferably with a leveled module. And after that, we have our 5 vanguards we have our 5 vanguards. Yato and Plume are chosen specifically because they're cheap. They're easy to cycle out for their equipment, and the other 3 vanilla Fang Courier, they're there in order to actually generate the DP that we will need. The idea is that we're stacking these 5 on top of each other in order for the one on top to take advantage of the SP generation from the Vanguard equipment. And of course, for more SP generation means more skills activated, which means more DP, and that's pretty much the idea for these 5 Vanguards. Crews, Justice Knight Rangers, Duran, Steward, these are our set of equipment that we will be using for our Goldenglow. There's 3 snipers and 2 casters. Justice Knight, Duran, and Rangers are chosen because they're cheap, easy to deploy, and cycle out. Their damage does not matter, all we're really using them for is equipment that will be quickly cycled out for Goldenglow as we build her. After that, we have Crews and Steward. They're also cheap, but at the same time, we also want some strong units that will deal with the early stage waves while our Goldenglow is still being built. We also want a set of 3 snipers and 2 casters. This is because, sniper equipment are basically just really good in general for Goldenglow in order to stacking her attack speed. But at the same time, we do want caster equipment, and this is for the SP generation. We want Goldenglow's skill to be up as much as possible. It actually does matter for this tower of SSS because, Goldenglow's arts damage in general is really integral to how we'll be playing out the stages. So yeah, that's why we have 3 sniper, 2 casters for the setup. After that, we have Ansel. Pretty much what he's going to do, what you expect a medic to do, not much else to say. 1 ground melee unit, in this case we have Beagle as a default option. After that, we have our puller specialist. We're not using the puller specialist for their ability to pull or their ability to block or do anything actually. You just want them for their equipment, which is this. Basically what that does is it lets us get the unit back. When we deploy rope on top of a unit, we get that unit back because of the equipment. And what that does is it lets us quickly recycle that unit in order for us to take advantage of their equipment again very quickly. Well, not very quickly. There's a short cooldown for the redeployment timer, but it basically lets us get that unit back quicker than we normally do, and it makes the overall strategy more consistent. And after that, we have our set of 6 supporters. Basically, when choosing your supporters, you just sort by supporter, sort by DP cost, and you choose the 5 cheapest ones that you have. Literally, you don't have to pick leveled ones or strong ones, you just pick the 5 cheapest ones. And then you get Orchid. Orchid is she's also doing what we normally want a cheap supporter to do, but her damage also does matter, so we want Orchid specifically as well. And what these 6 basically do, well, we're choosing them specifically for their equipment, which is this. After deployment, you gain 15 transfer permits. And the idea here is that we're going to be spam deploying supporters as much as possible in order to gain extra draws and circumvent and avoid the RNG problem of SSS entirely. At the start of a stage, it costs 10 transfer points to draw, but every time you deploy a supporter, you get 15 transfer points. So you basically, when you do deploy a supporter, you basically gain an extra half a draw. By leaning into this, we basically have a consistent strategy where the focus is quickly trying to build 5 stacks Goldenglow in order to immediately carry a stage. Basically, the vanguards are how we pay for all the deploying. We have our 5 equipment for Goldenglow, we have our draw engine through the supporters, and then we have Goldenglow as the capstone. That's pretty much the entire strategy in a nutshell. In terms of options where you can upgrade, you can use your Texas from the pinboard missions, and your Myrtle, if you have her raised, you can use them over Courier and Vanilla. If you have any strong Elite 2 caster or sniper carry, you can use them over Steward. Having Steward's caster equipment, if you have a sniper E2 such as Typhon Ray or Typhon Ray, Pajamka, someone like that, if you have a sniper E2 carry, you can use them over Steward, and having the caster equipment won't matter as much if you have another strong unit to carry, because you won't need Goldenglow skill to be up as much if you have one more sniper carry. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, in terms of other options you can upgrade the medic, of course, with pretty much any stronger medic that you have. You can also upgrade Beagle with basic if you have an Elite 2 ground unit carry, such as Degenbreaker, Iron, Gavialda Invincible, someone like that. You can replace Beagle with those guys, and basically you're going to take advantage of the Vanguard equipment very, very well. Basically, we're going to deploy Beagle or your E2 carry on top of the Vanguard stack after we finish building our Goldenglow. And that's the idea for the ground unit that we're picking. You can also upgrade your puller for Gladia or Cliffheart if you have them raised, but that part doesn't really matter as much as the other options that I've mentioned. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're now heading over to stage 1 of this node or tower. So yeah, make sure your Courier actually has skill 1. Make sure your Goldenglow has skill 3, that's the only skill we'll be using. And that's pretty much it. Let's head on over. Okay, so basically, for the stages, SSS does have some RNG, so you won't be able to fully replicate what I'm going to do. As much as possible, you should mind my positioning and how I play, and when you implement it on your own playthrough, try to keep in mind the concepts of what I'm trying to teach you, so that you'll be able to play your own game pretty much like how I'm doing it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And for the opening hand, as much as possible, we want to have only one Vanguard. So dump every Vanguard that you have except one, and that's pretty much all you're going to think about for the opening hand.
The time has come.
We have Plume. Okay, we only have Plume. That's great. And why we did that is because every time you deploy a Vanguard,
Ready for Overwatch.
you get one for free to your deck. You basically draw one for free. And this is because of the directional EC unit that we chose earlier. It basically lets us draw Vanguards for free. And we're doing this because we want to draw our Vanguards this way instead of accidentally getting them from the draw option, the assign operator on the right. We want to get them for free instead of paying for them. So you just do this for the early game, for the early map.
Understood.
Forwards.
Okay, we got all our Vanguards out. We have Yato on hand and Courier. If this happens to you, if your last Vanguard is one that doesn't generate TP, you just keep her on the hand. We want to end on a Vanguard that actually generates DP. And yeah, that's pretty much what you have to keep in mind when you do this song and dance. Now you want to build your ranged unit on this.
Locked onto target.
You want to stack your snipers and casters on one spot and then deploy Goldenglow on top of that after you get all 5. So we're doing that. And at the same time, you want to exhaust your unit limit by deploying your supporters in positions where they can still do some additional DPS to the wave.
Soul be cleansed.
Got it. Speeding up. Down you go.
Okay, I'll do it. Just as planned.
Now we have all
I'm
5.
listening.
We found all equipment that we'll need. Fully built Goldenglow, very quick, very easy. Basically, all you're going to do is activate her skill whenever it's up, and you're pretty much chilling for the first stage. After this, we can pretty much do something like this,
Target location reached.
and now we're pretty much chilling.
Please hold on.
Another thing you should keep in mind, what this does, this is also from the directional EC unit that we chose. What this does is it gives an attack boost to a unit that you use it on. And basically we want to use it only when we have 40 DP. This is because when we use it with 40 DP, the unit that we use it on immediately reaches the bonus attack max cap. So we want to, we're using it on Goldenglow. She, since we used it with 40, she gets the 80% maximum bonus. Maximum attack bonus, rather. And she has 1,000 right now with just upskill. And she's 1.5k on skill.
Please.
Mission accomplished.
We've accomplished our objective as planned.
And that's stage 1 done. Very easy. And now, after some of the stages, the game's going to give you an option to add additional operators onto your team. If the game does give you the option to, you pick nobody to add onto your team. The idea is that we already have everyone that we'll ever need for our strategy to work, and adding anyone that's unnecessary for it just makes the overall strategy more inconsistent. And this is because we'll have to draw the unit that we get from this. And if you don't pick someone that actually works with the strategy, it's just going to be a little more tricky and inconsistent. So yeah. So basically we're going to, if we do have to draw though, if we have to add someone to our roster, we follow these following guidelines. Basically you're going to ignore guards, ignore defenders, ignore medics, and ignore specialists. We only need 1 medic and specialist, which are already on our team, so we don't need more. We ignore guards and defenders because we only need 1 main ground unit. If you have any strong ground unit that you want on your team, they should already be on Beagle slot on this roster in the first place, and anything else would be unnecessary. And we only really want snipers, casters, supporters, or vanguards. Snipers and casters are good because, snipers and casters are good because they can either be additional DPS or they can be cheap equipment for Goldenglow. Those are the two considerations that you'll have when you're picking a sniper or a caster. You can also pick a supporter. Supporters are always good because they generate draw. That's pretty much it. And vanguards are always good because they generate DP. You'll want to lean onto supporters instead of vanguards, but if you do have to pick one of those, they're basically going to be good either way, especially since you draw vanguards for free in this run. So yeah, in this particular case, I'll draw Melanite since she's not built. Keeps the low endness of the guide. And speak of the devil, no more operators needed. This is what we want. Well, okay, this is pretty much the team comp, and we'll head on over to stage 2. Again, you want to make sure you only have one Vanguard on your opening hand. We're just going to dump everybody else that's not Plume in this case. And we'll do the whole thing where we spam deploy Vanguards first.
In position. Got it.
Understood.
Forwards.
And now we build our DPS on this position, the one in the middle. At the same time, we want to exhaust our unit limit.
Just as planned.
Here I am. Scumble, scumble. What a pain. Handle with care.
Got it. How's that? Down you go. All right.
Ready to heal. Just in time.
She's Elite 1 level 1 by the way. I was planning to raise her, but I couldn't find the time. Oh, she's already full build. This slot, I mean.
Now's the time
Full
to
stacks
help
Goldenglow, and that's the run. And that's the stage. Basically finished. Again, when you use this, make sure you're using it with 40 DP. At this point, the stage is already finished with full stacks Goldenglow, but you can build another ranged DPS on this position if you want. And that's stage 2 done.
Phew. It's finally over. Time to get a good night's sleep. I hope I don't have any more weird dreams about war.
Again, we'll have to add units onto our team. I'll just add Ash, I guess. And then I'll have to add Podenko, supporter. I'll make sure the strong units that I'm forced to pick up face the wrong way when I do deploy them so they don't affect the low endness of this guide. So don't worry about Ash just randomly destroying stuff. That will make the guide irreplicable. So yeah, I'll make sure that they're not really affecting the run too much. I'll still use them for their equipment, of course, I kinda have to. And that's pretty much it. We'll head over to stage 3. Okay, again, make sure you only have one Vanguard on your opening hand. I'll have to dump everyone except... I'm dumping everyone except Yato.
Let's get going.
And I'm deploying her on this spot.
In position.
Okay, so this one, on this stage, what you want to do is you want to end on you're on 2 different pioneers, the ones with block 2. So we're going to be doing this kind of positioning. And this is just to be really safe, because on some, if you do it on one stack, you should still mostly be fine, especially if you have a stronger team. But if you're doing a bare minimum run like this, it's better to be safe. Because you don't need the unit, you don't need the deployment slot anyway.
All right.
And you're building your range DPS on this spot facing the right so that they can cover both lanes. I made sure she did face the right way, so she doesn't stun.
Down you go.
What a pain.
This spot is already fully built, so I'll build the second one.
Locked onto target.
I'll also be deploying my Ansel on this position, facing the right.
Always won by the most experienced.
Now we're just trying to dig for our Goldenglow. If you don't have the draw, if you don't have the unit that you want, basically you're just going to be spam deploying supporters, and now I've found my Goldenglow.
Speeding up.
I'll do my best.
Now you've basically just finished the stage, because you have full stacks Goldenglow. But still, you do want to build a second one, a second DPS unit, and you're doing it on this particular tile, facing the left this time. Okay, so now you're going to see how the specialist actually works, right? Why we're actually using one. So basically, look at my hand right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy Cruise. That's a sniper equipment for later. Then I'm going to be getting her back with rope.
Is this a good spot?
And what this does is it'll let me use Cruise again immediately. Well, not immediately, after this timer, instead of trying to find her in my deck again. So yeah, I'll basically be guaranteeing a sniper equipment in my hand for easier use. And this makes the strategy more consistent because I can use it on any kind of unit. I can use it on a caster, I can use it on a supporter if I somehow need more draw. So yeah, it basically makes the strategy more adaptable. You also shouldn't worry about this boss leaking because the boss does stop at this tile, I think. And your Goldenglow should have the SP generation in order to quickly kill it anyway, before it even reaches that spot. So now, after you kill a boss, you'll get a choice of assignment EC unit. There are 5 EC units in total, and you'll have a choice of 3 of them. You should be seeing on the screen right now what those 5 are. And in order, the ones you want are Equipment Activation Valve, Recuperation, and Preparation. In this particular spot, I'm choosing Equipment Activation, and what this does is, well... Okay, I'll get rid of her because we don't need her. I'll also be deploying Beagle. Okay, for example's sake, I'll be doing this on this spot. I have Cruise right now, and what the Equipment Activation Valve does is it basically gives 2 extra equipment of the same type of unit that you're using it on. So I used it on Cruise, which is a sniper, and now she has 2 sniper equipment. I can then do this, I can then do... And now we have a quick, fully stacked unit on this spot because of the Equipment Activation Valve. This is really handy for the later stages because it'll let us quickly build our Goldenglow if we use it like that. Again, we want our DPS unit here on this spot facing the left so that they can hit this particular tile, the one on the left, in order for them to be able to hit the casters, the caster prisoners, when they do come out. Because sometimes when they do come out, Goldenglow will be off skill. Again, you want Equipment Activation, Recuperation, then Preparation. I found Recuperation here, so I'm getting it.
enough work to deal with.
And that's stage 3 done.
All enemies have been defeated. We Rhodes Island operators are the finest.
And now well, before we head over to stage 4, we actually have a choice. And from this one, you always want to pick on the left. What this does is basically it makes every Vanguard operator that we have free of charge, TP wise. And of course, that's really good because of you guys do know what we're doing every start of a stage, right? So yeah. The right is only really good. The right one is only really good if you're building around vanguards, which we clearly are not doing. So yeah, and this is the overall setup. Keep in mind, LT4 is actually the hardest stage in this overall tower. So if you can make it past here, you should be winning. The boss is actually really way easier compared to this. So again, we have our setup, and now we're heading over to stage 4. On this stage, you should always be using Goldenglow skill. Like, I wasn't really attentive before in the past stages, and that's only because it doesn't matter. On this stage, it actually does matter that you keep Goldenglow's skill active at all times. So now we're again, but still make sure you only have one Vanguard.
Hopefully we can get some useful experiment data.
What you want to do is you want to have Courier on one spot
Why can't everyone try
and Fang on another. And we want to build our unit, our Goldenglow on this spot.
I'm listening.
Got it.
I'll let her generate TP for a while, then replace her with Yato and then Beagle. Pretty much immediately.
Down you go. Got it.
Oh, this is where recuperation is really strong, by the way. I'll be using it right now, and basically what recuperation does is these are the units I just replaced, right? And I just used Cruise, I just got Steward, I immediately got them back. And this is because recuperation only chooses from the ones that I already used, right? The ones on the recuperation pile. And it's better because it's a targeted draw. You can control the set of units you're pulling from in some way if you get it early enough, or early enough in a deck cycle at least. So I'm basically able to really recycle these two units very quickly for their equipment.
I won't sleep.
We want to deploy our Ansel on the spot.
Free. How's that?
And now we have full stacks Goldenglow. Activate her skill whenever it's up. It's really important. You want to be building your second ranged DPS on this spot, this spot right here.
Deep breaths. Stay calm.
Justice Knight is now in crew.
Weapons good.
I'm recycling my Melanite.
Oh, I just need a minute. What a pain.
Preferably, we want to end on Cruise on this spot.
I'm listening.
Oh, I kind of screwed up, didn't I? It's fine.
Locked onto target.
As long as you use your Goldenglow skill, you should still be chilling.
How's that?
Ideally, you want to put Orchid on this spot, by the way. Keep in mind, this stage is going to be really close. And that's why we really want to be spamming Goldenglow skill. Use it every time it's up. If you have any kind of stronger units, like for example another good E2 ranged unit, it's not going to be this close. But since we're using the bare minimum for the sake of the guide, well, let's just say you really do have to be attentive.
Down you go. Freeze. Speeding up.
Let me stop! Stay back!
Down you go.
Understood.
Yes.
In position. Got it.
Down you go.
Understood.
Yeah.
Down you go.
Yeah. Something like that happens when you use the bare minimum.
What a
That's actually one of the closer finishes for this. When I've been testing this composition a few times, specifically on this stage, in order to actually optimize it. And with this bare minimum run, it's mostly something around that kind of ending. If you have your if you have your orchid in the middle instead of steward, it's not as close, but it's still kind of finishing in that kind of bunched up area by the crossroad. So yeah, keep in mind that when you're using this kind of bare minimum run, you want to have your Goldenglow skill always up, and also preferably she's as strong as you can have her. And if you have anyone else really, if you had like Aethela, Passenger, even someone like Pudding even someone like Pudding or Asgen would actually make this run so much easier. So if you have those guys raised, have them, bring them. It's really going to help a lot. Okay, also for this set, I'll have to pick Gitano, I guess. She's a caster, so I kind of have to get her, and of course, no more operators needed. This one, stage 5, is not going to be as hard. It's still hard, and you still have to be really attentive of keeping Goldenglow's skill up. But after this, if you do make it out, it's going to be way easier. Like, the boss is so much easier in comparison, I swear. So again, keep your setup in mind, and we'll head on over to stage 5. Okay, so make sure you only have one Vanguard. I'll keep only Plume.
Look at the map and figure out your route before we get in there. This is experience talking.
Got it.
We end on Courier. Best case scenario, we're building our range DPS on this spot.
Justice Knight is now in position.
I'm listening.
I'm using rope on cruise. I'm using the recuperation thing, hoping I get both snipers. I only get one. Unfortunate. It is what it is. It's still good. I'll pick Yado. She's cheapest. We have 3 sniper stacks on this. We do want our Goldenglow to have 2 caster stacks minimum, so we're not going to be using our Ashe on that spot. Instead, we're using her here. I want to have Goldenglow immediately, so even though this only gives me 1 stack caster in total, because Steward himself is a caster stack that I would normally be getting, I'll use it anyway.
Freeze. How's that?
And now we have full stacks Goldenglow. You want to use our Ansel on this spot facing the left, so he can heal this set of operators, activate Goldenglow skill when it's up. And now we want to build this spot in particular. We want to focus on this one.
Sleep on the job. Okay, I'll do it. Deep breath.
And this is because we want to build our Orchid on this spot. Yes, Orchid, the supporter.
All right.
Okay, so you want to deploy your Orchid something
Just as
like
planned.
this, so she hits this route, basically. Now you want to build your third DPS unit on this spot, facing downward.
All right.
Use this on your other operators if you find it. I'll use it on Orchid here.
Why can't everyone try to get along?
I'll get her back, Durin. I could have used rope on you official, but as much as possible, you don't want to use rope on you official Justice Knight, the 1-stars basically, because when you use them on the 1-stars, their redeployment time is really long. Found Steward,
Got it.
and now we're mostly chilling. You'll also want to be activating Orchid skill when it's up, when she does have targets.
Here, out of my way.
Beagle goes down, doesn't really matter, it's fine. We found this, we use it on Steward. This is the final stretch. We're just waiting on Goldenglow skill to be up.
Okay, I'll do it.
Speeding up. Freeze.
Can I get distance?
With Goldenglow skill up, this is pretty much wrapped up.
Stop them now.
Orchid should be able to stall this guy.
Speeding up.
And that's stage 5 done. Whew. Okay. And now you've actually made it out of the hard part
He doesn't need it anyway.
for this node. From this point onward, you can basically, well, you're not totally coasting, but it's kind of coasting. Because it's really easy at this point. I'll pick Magallion here, supporter, draw, you know how it goes. I'll pick no more operators needed. And this is the setup. This is the final stretch. Let's head on over. Okay, so again, make sure you only have one Vanguard on your opening hand. I'm dumping everyone except Yato.
I've got this.
And you want to build your Vanguard on this spot facing upward.
Understood.
You do the whole song and dance. You'll also be doing 2, just for fun, I guess. Okay, this is our last Vanguard. We want to end on DP generators, so we're not removing them. We want to build our Goldenglow on this spot facing the left.
Adjusting firing trajectory.
All right.
Preferably with
Understood.
2 caster snacks, by the way. I just used 2 sniper equipment. As you can see, there's 2 on the recuperation area. And what this does is, it basically guarantees I get them back. Easy peasy, and that's why recuperation is good. I'll recycle Ansel. I'm deploying Rangers. We're basically waiting on Steward, and we have fully built Goldenglow ready and waiting. Now we're exhausting our deployment slots. Make sure you don't use this, by the way. You want to use this first before you actually use this, and this is where Ansel will go. You want to be building your second DPS unit on this spot,
Weapons good.
facing upward.
Ready for data collection.
Understood. Down you go.
Just as planned.
Now it's just DP waiting room.
Down you go.
I guess I'll I'll put Beagle here
This is the place.
because Courier is getting beat up.
This problem isn't just for show.
Down you go.
Full stacks, Goldenglow.
Everyone else.
Pretty much this is the map 1. We're just waiting on this before deploying our Ansel.
And pray.
Now we deploy our Ansel. I suppose I'll give him I'll give him 1 caster stack. Why not?
Do it. Handle with care.
That's nice. Now we just want to build our DPS unit on this tile.
I'm listening.
I'll put Orchid here. Orchid died. Oh, oopsie. We're trying to build for this guy. That guy died again.
Weapons good. Ready for data collection.
Goldenglow won't die from that, by the way, so we're chilling mostly.
Speeding up.
Just make sure you're using her skill whenever it's up. You use this whenever she's doing the spinning thing, just so he gets stunned.
Speeding up.
I'll just use it again, why not? Basically dead, basically finished, and now you're chilling.
Gumble.
Yeah, at this point, you really don't have to think too hard about it. You see skill ready, you click skill, you smile as she does the rest. I'll just use this, whatever.
Speeding up.
Just as planned.
Like, Goldenglow is really powerful for this kind of setup. Because she's basically doing all the damage on the boss, even while she's so safe. Like, she's so out of range for the boss too. And she's doing all that damage while the danger level is really low too. And that's LT6 done.
No more hostiles detected.
And this is Automaton Arena, low-end guide, easily completed. And that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the guide, if you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel a lot. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And that's pretty much it. That has been Arknights SSS Low-End Guide Automaton Arena. Thanks for watching.